Hi, welcome to our fourth session. Today we'll go through the structure of each technique so that you can know where to begin, which technique comes first. You will also find information on your PDF. There is a written description of the technique and how you can do it. But if you feel the need to take notes from this video, feel free to do so. Also, I want to let you know that each technique has its own dedicated video so that it's easier for you to navigate through the playlist which technique you need. But before we begin, it's important for you to know some things before you do the technique so that you prepare your body and your mind to do those techniques. The important thing here is that it's not only doing the techniques and doing the stretching exercises and the breath work that will lead you to homeostasis. There is a mental to physical link. So from the mental, we shift to the physical and they blend together. So it's not only achieving heart coherence by doing the techniques, it's bringing our full attention to that moment and expanding through it because we open up the sacred geometry of the body. So we use our chi in such a way and we feel the totality of our existence through each technique. So being mindful will help you to do those techniques in a way that it's mind muscle connection. Like when you work out, you will know how to do those things in time. As I said in our previous sessions, it's important to do those things in the morning. When we wake up, our cortisol levels are higher than usual, and it doesn't mean that when we do the stretching exercises or the techniques that we instantly have heart coherence. So even if we practice a repeated pattern, our brain adapts to it. So it goes on autopilot again. And it's important to know that when we're working with the waves of frequency that our brain goes through when we wake up, there is a whole process there. So when we're attempting to ground in the morning, there is a deeper wavelength and we should focus on achieving. It's not something that we do just to do it. We should give our 100%, fully melt into it, fully open up and trust the process. This is achieved by applying pressure on specific areas of the body that we are going to go through today that create the necessary reaction within the body and the consciousness that helps us align and ground fully into our center. It's important when we wake up to shake our fields, to open up our fields and spin them so that we can be fully in our power, because it's like not being able to stretch and open up fully, so you're feeling constricted. So to move that energy and the cortisol and the toxicity in the body and the stagnant energy, we use the Fibonacci sequence. But I will explain later what I mean with fire breathing, because we are also working with the water element, and this is connected to the mantras that we use, and I will show you how to use your hands and your fingers to create the necessary mantra to move chi through and around your body. So when we use a fire breathing, there is a specific technique and a way that we can breathe that is through the throat in a Fibonacci
2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, so on and so forth. You know what numbers I'm talking about. So we use these numbers from the center of our heart's heart, forward by 1 unit of measurement. What is the unit of measurement? The unit of measurement is whatever is from the bottom to the back of your throat, 21 units of measurement. So forward by 1, down by 1, back by 2, up by 3, forward by 5, down by 8, back by 13, up by 21, forward by 34. Motion starts by moving forward. This is how our field works. This is how the fourth dimensional axis works. Up and down, left and right, and forward and back on this axis of time. But we're no longer on a fourth dimensional axis. We're on a fifth dimensional axis. And you move this motion of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. When you actually spiral the fire out, this is how you can keep spiraling the fire out and actually completely clear the dimension. Get that posture perfect and breathe that fire right out into your house, into your field, into your loved ones, into your healing session, into whatever needs to take place by accessing the dimension, by accessing the floor, by accessing the number.
You learn to use your Kundalini energy, compress all that down, and you open up your heart center. And when you open up your throat, it's connected to the crown as well. When you open up your heart, it's connected to your fields and your back. And so you spin your energy fields and you connect with the energy body. Work as one with our spirit guides.
But once you breathe forward this fire at the 34 units, so from here to here, you're breathing forward this bent light in 34 units. You then go down, okay? Because this is going like this. So once you go forward by 34, this is fourth density. Fifth density is coming back down. So fifth density, what did I say? It's the castle in the sky that we're bringing down into physical reality. We bring down the 5D of what we're manifesting from up in front of our face down into the ground or like just below us. So it just happens to be that 6D is running underneath you. What's up behind you? 7D, your angelic aspect. What's flying over your head? 8D, dragon aspect. What's going down in front of you and landing like a superhero? Your Amazon, your barbarian frequency coming back down in front of you, lined up with fifth density. What's under your feet? 10th density. So shadow is under your feet. Behind you, angelic, elven. Elven, 11. The number keeps doubling and adding with the number before it. But after we get to our elven, 12, where the phoenix is, and from 12 coming down to 13, this is such a large unit of measurement that it's actually under the earth. That's why some of these, because 13 is where the fairies are. This is the fairy realm, earth in front of you. And now we get to 14, once again, where these aspects are kind of all just blended together. We've now made it to the king frequency, and 14, this other shadow aspect is well beneath your feet in the earth. And what's behind you standing up perfectly? Your 15th dimensional aspect.
So working with my spirit guides, I've learned that when we work with our bodies, we are calming the water within the body. We work with specific analogies and visualizations through the tree. It's easy for me to understand this information through knowing that it's a tree. It's an inner tree, a body tree, a house tree, and then we work with the dimensional room. The energy in our body flows like water. Our chi flows like water. So when we're trying to calm our nervous system, it's like we're trying to calm the waves of the water and make it still to achieve heart coherence and the conscious sovereign presence. And so we use our form and our breathing to achieve that. Combining the mantra techniques, we work as one with the dimensional rooms. When we open up our fields, we can move one step further to do energy work with our environment, assist people around our house, our territory, the neighborhood. We use our fire to calm our water, and we use the elements to ground, and the dimensional room that is connected to the house. So when we create the triangle mantra that I mentioned on the PDF and the other videos, this is the mantra that we're creating. We use, with our intention, the wind, and it's connected to the mind, and the earth through balancing our fire, water.
Pinkies are earth, index is water, middle finger is fire, pointer finger is wind, thumbs are intent. What do I want to do with all of these? So if I'm pointing like this, here's the Yeshua.
Okay.
For everyone on earth, you guys know what this means. So what am I pointing? I'm taking wind and fire, and my intent is balancing water and earth as I direct current to you, or I move things from you. It's like a laser, wind and fire in rotation, right? Using water to balance and earth to ground. So there you go.
Intending to balance our mind and our body with our water and our fire. So we create this mantra above the head. I don't know if you can see. We do this above the head, and we feel, we focus our intention on our back. We stretch the hands as back as we can to open up the back, to connect the middle of the back together, the left and the right, and connect in the middle and push together to activate our wings, energy wings. And as we do this, we then feel the need to either come front to open up our front sphere, back. We then want to go from here to here. Now we're creating this triangle above the head. We look up through the triangle, and then we do left and right. We show them left and right. Come down, behind, under our armpits to grab the left and the right, bring them in the middle, and down. In this way, we work with the brain, the left and the right side of the brain, also the spirit team, the left and the right aspects, the light and the night aspects. We merge them together, align, merge, and work with me to ground. In this way, we claim the sovereignty of our consciousness. The first technique that we use is to calm the water within our body. So this will be on a separate video with details. I will show you physically how to do this. The second technique is the tree shadow. So when we calm the nervous system, our waves, the water waves, we then begin to work with the body. The shadow of the tree. Visualize the sun hitting a tree. Depending on what time it is, you have the reflections of the tree on the ground. This tree here, you have like a cross, right? When we open up to the dimensional room, we work with the four corners of the room, the four directions. So imagine that you are the tree, you are a cross, so you're working with the front, the back, the left, and the right side through the four corners of the room. So you work with the entire sacred geometry, and you then open up to a sphere geometry. So when we do the shadow tree technique, we work from the ground up. We work with the sphere of the tree of life, because it's not just the points that show that tree of life. There is a sphere, like our energy body. The most important connection that I was shown is the connection to the self, and then the connection to the higher self. So when those two work together, we can then balance the lower chakras. So from the heart chakra and up, it's the connection with the self and the higher self. From the heart and down, we work with the family tree, the solar plexus, and the umbilical cord that is connected to our ancestral lineage, both the physical and the non-physical one, the previous lifetimes. But the connection that we have with our stream of consciousness comes from the heart and up. So there is a technique when we are in the shadow tree, we work with the left and the right side. You feel the ground in such a way that you open up fully and you are able to connect to your inner child, and you melt into the ground, you open up. First, again, we have the water element. We calm the water within the body, the fire breathing, and then we have the tree shadow awareness. We work with the sphere of our tree, from density to still water, and we integrate our shadow tree. When it becomes still, we're able to work with the other mantras, working with the dimensional room. As I explained in the previous session, we have the coding language, that is way of communication from the physical to the higher self. So we use in DNA coding, we use the sacred geometry of our body and of the room and of everything to communicate with the spirit team, to use our DNA in this way, dormant DNA. We activate our abilities. And so after the shadow tree and the sphere to tree shadow, we work with the DNA coding language. When we work with that, we work with our stance, the inner layer and the outer layer of our body. We then move to the back, open up our wings. From the back, we follow the lats and we work with the hips. When we work with the hips, we also work with the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. We learn how to use the back of the tree and the front of the tree. And this is because we work with the Fibonacci sequence. The energy is not straight up and down. It goes in and out, in and out, in and out. If you see the Kundalini, it's not a straight line. We work with the Fibonacci sequence because everything works in a spiral form. We learn how to move the energy from within by using the front side and the back side of our tree, of our torso, the upper body and the lower body. There is a Fibonacci sequence for the upper body, for the throat and the heart when we push the energy down. And then there is a way to use the Fibonacci sequence to move energy from the Kundalini, from the root up to the solar plexus. And they merge in the middle and we work that ball of fire. We use that technique to direct our chi in such a way so that we remove cords from our lower chakras. It's a really good way to learn how to master that. Work with your chakras to clear them. It's not only in meditation that we send our focus there, we send energy through our focus area, but it's really working with our breathing and clearing that chakra point, that energy point. There is a lot of focus, attention that needs to be directed there, and it has to be done in the right way. So we work with the upper body and the lower body. From the sides, we work with the upper side and the lower side, and then we work with the other upper side and the lower side, because we're working with the sacred geometry of our tree, of the body. To balance the center, we work with the two sides, and this is connected to the DNA coding language. It's a way of communicating with the sacred geometry. With both the left and the right, through the center, we work basically creating the infinity symbol through our wings, using the left and the right through the center to direct the energy, and through our hands, the left draws energy, the right sends energy, just like with the feet.
What side is this?
My left side.
Also known as your receiving side.
Yes.
Okay, put your right hand out. Also known as your
Right side.
sending
side.
Very good. 3D hands,
Yeah.
5D hands are about this big. Okay, so if you can see, they're bigger than your 3D hands. So
Yeah.
for all you Reiki masters out there, what you're doing is when you casually put your hand over somebody, what you're not seeing is someone's energy hand coming through, reaching through the membrane, through the molecules, using 100% of that energy. Remember, 99% empty space. Nassim Haramein broke this down. 1% matter, 99% empty space. Where that 1% of matter mixed with 99% empty space. So by you going like this, your hand has plenty of room energetically to go in and remove an attachment, to remove a blockage, to heal an organ, whatever it may be.
Nice.
Same thing with your feet. Your left foot pulls energy from the grid. Your right foot sends it.
We use our hands to move energy and direct energy through our body when we work with the Kundalini, because the Kundalini is really important. So what I wanted to show you here is, and I will show you also physically the techniques in the videos. We create a triangle with the feet, right? And we work with the back triangle of the room. That is the cross that I explained earlier. The tree, when we have that cross, right? What I was shown is that we use the infinity symbol from our Kundalini and the base of our spine. If we spin that energy, we'll learn how to access the dimensional room. Then we have the standing pose for the heart and the solar plexus. We do that coffee press technique. So we have the infinity symbol on top of the head, and then we have the infinity symbol on our back, and then we have the infinity symbol when it comes to our legs. When we use the sacred geometry of the room, we open a dimensional portal where we work with our spirit team as one. We literally open a portal, if you can see. So we have our room, right? We are in the center, operate within our sphere. That's why I'm greeting the house, I'm greeting my room, and I know exactly where everything is and how to work with it. We have the four corners of the room and the four archangels on each corner. We work with the sacred geometry of the room. And then we are here, we use the mantras and we access with our fields the sacred geometry of the body and of the room as one. When we do this with the mantras, we work with the brain, infinity symbol. This is how we work with our energy wings. When we work with the center of the brain, we work with the eye of the brain. We use our energy, the Taurus energy, just like the brain, you know, by connecting the two ends in the middle. We work with the bones, we work with the muscles, we work with the organs. Everything has its own geometry. Everything is fractalized. Everything has a sacred geometry that can communicate with the sacred geometry of another thing, because they're working in the same organism. Just like we can communicate with the sacred geometry of source, because we are that. We are fractals of that. Everything has a cycle. Just like the horoscope has a cycle. The cycles within the horoscope, the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the sun. Like the seasons and the elements, we use the center to send out a message, let's say, a code, to the rest of the body, to the rest of the geometry. It has branches and roots that connect to the sacred geometry of other things. We have the inner tree of the body, we have the outer tree that is the physical body, and then we have shadow tree. We're using the layers of that. And then we have the dimensional room that is the energy body and the light body. So when we use the infinity symbol, we push the energy down to connect to the roots of the tree, to integrate our shadow tree and connect it with the actual trees of the sacred geometry, to operate through the dimensional portal. So now that you have a better clarity of how this works, how the elements work with the body, how our fingers connect to the elements, you're more able to understand how the water inside the body, the chi, works. We have the birthright to do so, and this knowledge has been hidden for long periods of time. When we step back to that power, we really see reality in a different way. We don't feed other programs that try to manipulate our energy, use our life force. It's all about self-control, self-awareness, self-expansion. So this is the structure that we use, and for each technique, as I said in the beginning of our session, there is a dedicated video in full detail that I'm going to show you how to do this physically. Keep doing all the things that we mentioned from session number 1 to session number 4. Now you know the structure. If you take notes, that's also going to benefit you to have that written down. You can also find that information in your PDF. So I hope you found this structured video helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Each week I want you to do the previous thing and this one, so that you have a more balanced way of creating this lifestyle. Thank you for being here with me. I am really grateful for being a part of your journey and providing you with the knowledge that I was taught by my spirit team. So let me know about your progress, about any questions that you may have, and check out the other programs if you wish to. If you need more help in something, I'm always here for you. It's not just one thing and then we're done. We're doing this together. Transmute things into awakening more and more into our power. Keep pushing forward and keep connecting with people that fuel you and making you feel alive. Check my other platforms, podcasts, blog posts. Check the website. Sign up to the newsletter to know when new things come up. Until next time, thank you for doing the work, and I'll see you in our next session.